Hello, bonjour, goedenavond, and welcome to Spa-Francorchamps here in the Belgian Ardennes. The stage is set for the first round of the Virtual Motorsport Series Season 3 Silver Split. My name is Sverre Komman, and I'm joined in the commentary box today by Daniel. Daniel, how are you today?
I'm feeling just fine and hope everyone out there is too, because we have a tremendous race coming up very soon for you.
Yes, exactly. Today we're racing at Spa-Francorchamps, one of my personal favorite tracks, I have to say. Over 7 kilometers long, a lot of elevation changes, a lot of tricky corners, Sector 1 especially with Eau Rouge and Radion. Sector 2, a lot of downhill stuff going on there as well. And Sector 3, very high speed, top speeds of, I would say about 330 kilometers an hour. So very exciting for sure today. Daniel, what are your expectations for today?
I'm expecting a really exciting and also close race given the new pre-qualifying system, and with lots of sign-ups, I expect just a close battle in both classes simultaneously.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm very excited for it. I have to say, the tension is starting to rise. Of course, the drivers are just finishing up their practice laps ahead of qualifying that is starting in about 3 minutes. Daniel, there's like you said, there's a lot of signups this season with 5 or even 6 tiers. I have to say, with Tier 1 and Tier 2, a lot of drivers, new drivers in this split as well. Are there any names or drivers you think that they're gonna surprise us already, or is it just we're gonna just have to wait and see?
I'm not quite sure, a bit of both, because we have a few drivers which I'm familiar with from last season already, but also a lot of new names. I would say more new names than we have, like people that retained their seats. So yeah, I think it's going to be a mix of both. It can be very surprising, but also we have like, especially we are on him right now. Mattia Previato was racing last season as well, so he knows how all of this goes. He knows the drill and all, so he is, I think, a bit more, I would say, prepared than the new rookies, I would say. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to give it their all and try to perform the best today.
Yeah, it's going to be something to see how this race unfolds itself. Of course, we have qualifying beforehand as well. Of course, this being the silver split, you might expect some slower times, I have to say. But that's looking at the pre-qualifying times. There are some really, really fast guys in here. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's really ridiculously close. In pre-qualifying, I think it was like silver to gold plat was not even, I assume, 1 or 2 seconds. So it's extremely close, and there's high competition here as well. So it's not like this is the rookie split or some kind of like beginner split. This is a proper competition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a lot to look forward to tonight and for the rest of the season as well, of course, with a lot of exciting racing to come. Today at Spa, but there is a whole season, of course. I had those prepared at somewhere, but of course now I can't find them anywhere. There we go. Of course, today we're racing at Spa. In 2 weeks' time, we're racing at Qatar. Also, very tricky track, of course, which I think Wex started racing at last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
After Qatar, a personal favorite of mine, Fuji, on the 3rd of October. And after that, we're racing on Monza, Sebring, and Portimao as well. So a lot of exciting tracks. To come for us here in the silver split, as the drivers are rounding up their practice, and about less than a minute now, qualifying should start. Daniel, could you explain to the viewers how this qualifying works today?
Surely, yeah. So we have like one session of qualifying with all cars, and it's starting with the LMGT3s. They have essentially, I think, 15 minutes. I think it's somewhere around this. We will point this out when we get to the point. So they have this certain amount of time to set a lap, and afterwards they need to go into the box, and they are like again 10 to 12 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. How much time the hypercars have, and afterwards they are going to have like a own session within this big qualifying session to set a lap, and therefore this is going to determine the grid for today's race.
Yes, exactly. Of course, other than series like Formula One or something, these cars do not have tire warmers. So those first couple of laps are very tricky to manage those tires, get them in the right window to have the optimal pace and temperature for those very crucial laps, of course, especially with the hypercars. I feel like
Yep.
they can feel very on edge with the cold tires.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be really the first, I think, with hypercars, first 2, maybe also 3 laps on Spa to just get the tires in the right temperature window to get them perform well, and then just give it their all and push to the limit.
Awesome. It's going to be something. We're going to witness something cool tonight. I can feel it, and I'm very excited for this. So it's just let's wait and see how this unfolds.
Yeah. And I think also it's maybe will be a bit more competitive, or I think maybe a bit easier for the drivers, because pre-qualifying was on this track. So they have hours of lap timing, of stinting on this track already, and having this as a season opener is kind of like a very I think friendly way to start the season, because they are familiar with this track, with their cars, with the environment. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. It helps them prepare even more, of course. Let's take a look at the driver names competing in LMGT3 this season. Like we mentioned before, a lot of new faces coming in through pre-qualifying. There's not too many different cars going around today. A lot of Ferraris, a lot of Aston Martins. Actually, just the 2 Ferraris, but a lot of Aston Martins, I have to say. Do you know why this car is so popular? Is it just a very versatile car? It can handle every track. Do you know that?
Yeah, I think it's on some sort of. I think it's very benefited from the BOP. I think it's very easy to drive, given that it's a front engine car, and I think it's a quite good all-rounder on all tracks, essentially.
Yeah. It makes it perfect, of course, to race across a season where we visit many different tracks, and not just Spa, of course. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this unfolds. I'm expecting a lot of close lap times here. Should be a very interesting qualifying.
Yeah, will be definitely, but it's not like only Aston Martins will fight for pole position or win. It's going to be every car has a good chance on pole or win or podium. So it's not going to be like a Aston Martin domination at all.
No, I sure hope not. There's a lot of different cars still in the field with Porsche, Ferrari, and Lexus also, as I can see now in the tower, on the grid. I think as well it's very important for the drivers to get a good start to the season. So a pole position here would, of course, set you up nicely for this race and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like mentally, it's really helping you to gain this sort of confidence that I started on pole. I'm performing well, even at the start of the season. I am like I said, performing well, and therefore I can build on this result.
Exactly, it gives you a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence going towards the rest of the season. As we're looking at the first group on track, led by Alessandro Alfano in the previously mentioned Aston Martin. You don't want to be in a group like this, ideally, I would imagine. I think you would want a bit more space on track.
Yeah, no, not at all. You want to have a bit of space. I mean, it can be beneficial to be in sort of a not very proximate distance, but a distance to get a bit of slipstream. But it's always tricky to not like get a lot of dirty air or to get hindrance by the car in front of you.
exactly. As we are on board with Alessandro Alfano on his first hot lap. Of course, we're not expecting too extreme of a lap time right now with the cold tires. But we're going to see what he can manage as we're heading to Eau Rouge and Radion. Of course, yeah, probably one of the most famous corners on every circuit, really. Down the main straight, heading towards the fourth corner, I have to say. Speeds up to 260 kilometers an hour, weaving the car to gain some tire warmth as well. Late on the brakes, you can brake really late in these cars with the ABS. So it's mostly a challenge of who can brake the latest in these things.
Yeah, exactly. The ABS helps a lot with generally trying to drive the car in tricky conditions with bad tire wear, but it's not like you can just stamp on to the brakes and you get the car around. You still need lots of feel and sense in the brake pedal to have like good rotation, to what you call trail braking, to like get the more you turn in, the less you are braking, so you get the rear of your car to rotate properly. But yeah, ABS makes it easier to essentially not lock up your tire, not lose lots of tire wear.
Yes, exactly. It helps you avoid those flat spots that really can destroy your tire and your race as well, even if you have a very big one. As we're coming up to the back straight, to the drivers finishing their first laps of today. We're gonna wait and see what times they put on the board right now. I think pole position would be around the 2:19, 2:18 at least. I saw those times in the practice we saw earlier, as Alfano abandons his first lap, so Matteo Pecci will be the first one to complete his lap. Am I correct in saying that about 2:18 to 2:17 even for those pole times?
Yeah, I think maybe it's going to be even 2:18, but I'm not quite sure. I think pre-qualifying was around 2:18, 2:19 also, so you're not wrong to assuming something like that.
All right. Well, the first laps are on the board. Becci with a 2:19.9, followed by Bailey with over 0.5 of a second. Osborne almost 2 seconds off, and Keinsel more than 2 seconds off. But of course, those times will get closer to each other as we get further into the session. A lot of drivers not even on track right now as well. So there's still plenty of time in the session to get a good lap on the board. And see yourself starting as high as on the grid as possible for the race. Of course, coming up in, let's say about 45 minutes to an hour as well. Of course, with the hypercar qualifying in between that as well. So those times should come together nicely shortly, and then we're going to see the really tiny gaps between the cars. Right now, it is an Aston Martin front row so far, but yeah, it's a bit too early to tell, of course, if that's gonna stay that way. As Marco Galetti is on his second lap, already 0.3 down on his first time, or up, I should say. Apologies, 0.3 faster than his first lap. So there is you can already see that increase in speed and lap time that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Marco Galetti also want to watch out for. He was racing last season, also in the silver split here, and was performing quite well. I think he has one win to his account already last season, and yeah, so he was great last season. I think he's going to be just fine this season as well, and one to look out for.
Yes, exactly. He's also one of the fewer drivers who retained his seat in this split, along with a couple of others. Only 3 others in the GT3 field we have seen last year as well, as he goes almost 0.5 quicker this lap than his previous lap. So he's aiming for that P1 time already. And we're gonna wait and see what he does, if he can finish the lap on a high as well. Coming up to the bus-stop chicane, braking very late, around 100 meters, I do believe, there, and
especially
heading to the right.
They're all setting great times now.
They are 18.6 for Osborne, I was going to say the first one to go in the 18s, but that's not true at all. Mentrup and Pecci do the same, as well as Thomas, and Galetti doesn't really end the lap on a high note, so only P5 for now, 7/10 down on Osborne. Of course, there's still plenty of time enough to increase that lap time, but it's a very good lap for Osborne with an 18.6 in the Ferrari so far. So you can really see the field closing up already with less than a second between P1 and P7. So that's a good start.
And it really is. I mean, we're seeing kind of a lot of Aston Martins right now, but of course the provisional pole position is set by Ferrari, so all cars seem to be competitive right now. We're just going to wait and see, as Alex Bailey is setting a overall fastest first sector. So this is one to watch out for.
Very much so. The Lexus, of course, being quite a stable car, albeit it can be a bit oversteery somewhere. But it's also always nice to see this car represented by two people in this field. Probably the oldest GT3 car in the field at this point. Yeah. It's been driving for years within these regulations.
Yeah, it really was.
All right.
Like,
no, go ahead.
No, it's like, I don't know, it's like the grandpa of GT3s in my head. It's like in every era of GT3s, you name it, this car was there. It was always like serving its purpose and doing it quite well, I say.
Yes, very much so. As we have a yellow flag out at the moment. I'm not too, and it's gone already. So probably just a small off track for someone somewhere. Shouldn't be it's if you, of course, if you crash the car right now, then your qualifying is pretty much done, because then you have to get new tires underneath it, build the temperature up again, which can be very tricky, as Pecci goes even quicker than Osborne at this point, an 18.3, almost 3/10 clear of the Ferrari in P2. So it's the Aston Martin surely does have some good pace today.
Yeah, it does. But we will need to look out for, I think it's going to be this and another lap, which some drivers can set, if I'm correct. So it's going to be like all on the next few laps to see where you end up starting this race.
Yes, the really quick laps should be coming our way right now. So if they haven't posted a quick lap yet, then this is the time to do so, of course, as we're following Eduardo Dorito in the Porsche 911 with the Iron Dames livery, also a personal favorite of mine, so I do really approve. I really love this car with how it looks. Very different to drive compared to the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, of course, with the engine in the back compared to the front, which makes it quite oversteery, right, Daniel?
Yeah, it does. It's really like if you overdrive it or you just don't drive it properly, it's a bit of a quirky car and it can be quite difficult to drive. But if you get your spin on it and if you know how to manage with all these obstacles in this car, it's really a fun car and it's lovely to drive, really.
It sure is. It gives you a lot of agility in especially the slow corners. Oh, and he loses it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the oversteer you were talking about. That's a shame. Losing it in Pouillon, that's the one of the fastest, if not the fastest corner on the track. Let's look at what happened.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit too fast into, I think.
Just a bit too much speed going in.
Yeah. It was like an understeer resolving into an oversteer, something like that. Because I didn't see him onto the grass or curbing or anything strange like that.
That is a shame. So he does continue for now. Let's see. I don't think he will hop into the pits, because I doubt there will be enough time to get a new set of tires and warm those up properly, as well as he got some gravel there as well. So not the tidiest of laps right now. So hopefully the next one he can improve even more. Well, more. Right now he is in P12, 3 seconds down on Pecci. So of course he hasn't set a representative lap time just yet. So let's see if he can do it right now as well.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cars coming into the pits.
I assume that's the end of LMG3 qualifying essentially, and we're going to like switch over to the hypercar qualifying, which is going to start at I think 10 minutes remaining, if I'm correct.
Yes, of course. So
11
that's
minutes.
qualifying done for Dorito. I'm afraid, but that is a shame. Otherwise, he probably could have gotten a lot higher up as well. Let's take a look at the drivers for Hypercar this evening. Also, a lot of new names on the grid. You and I looked at this beforehand, and we saw Luca Lomonaco. I'm going to have some struggles pronouncing that, which is a very well eye-catching name, so to speak.
Yeah.
In terms of the cars, a lot of Ferraris, of course, very popular along the drivers. Also, a lonely Aston Martin Valkyrie, of course, with the screaming V12 engine in the back. That's always going to be something to see. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, really a fan favorite. The Aston Martin with its roaring V12 engine. And yeah, like in the GT3, here it's the Ferrari which is dominating in terms of signups. But I think we will also just be fine. The Toyota is also competitive. The Peugeot is also competitive. And I hoping because Schlichting was performing quite alright last season as well. So I'm hoping we will get some good results from the number 15 Aston Martin Valkyrie as well.
Awesome. I hope so. It's an amazing car, of course. So that would be great to see that car high up on the grid. Of course, it's also you were talking about how the Ferrari is quite a dominant car as well with the Toyota. That's also the cool thing about the BOP, of course, that it changes sometimes and makes some different cars gain more performance or lose some performance. So it's no guarantee that the car that you've chosen now is competitive at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always like I wouldn't say a gamble, but taking the currently best car with knowing it's going to be like a update coming up soon is a like risk of potentially getting a BOP downgrade, I would say, put it like this.
Yes, exactly. So let's hope for those drivers that they've picked the correct car, not just for now, but for the rest of the season as well. Because it's one thing to win the race now, but if you then don't manage to get some points in the final 3 races, then it's going to be difficult to maintain those high positions in the standings.
As qualifying for the hypercars just started, it's 20 seconds ago, as they are all climbing up Rouge and Radion and are taking on the Camel Straight on their first outlap.
Yes, a lot of weaving going around, trying to warm up those tires. These cars, of course, have even less time to warm up those tires, so it's crucial to keep your car in one piece, basically, and not crash it into the wall, because then your qualifying is pretty much done. So it's crucial to get those temperatures correctly, not overheat them, but keep your car in one piece as well. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long race for you, I'm afraid. I'm seeing a lot of different colors as well, a lot of custom liveries, of course. That is new for this season, I do believe. I don't think that was added for last season yet.
No, there wasn't. I wanted to point this out in GT2 qualifying as well, but I just forgot it. It's really nice and refreshing to see like new colors, new colorways, because last season there were as well a lot of Ferraris, and they were all like looking exactly the same. There was, I think, 51 Ferraris, so you really couldn't really I don't know, match them apart. You couldn't tell if that's, for example, was Previato or Bassin. It looked like they were the same car. You just had to like, I don't know, fight your way around them. But it's really looking great this season.
Yes, that's they made it a lot easier for us this year, luckily. All right, a lot of cars coming towards the end of their warm-up laps ahead of the first qualifying laps. Again, we're not expecting the fastest laps right now just yet with those cold tires, but of course you still want to put a lap time on the board in case you have a mistake or a crash, that you have at least a time on the board. So here we go, on board with following the Ferrari number 17 ahead of Eau Rouge and Radion. Let's see if they could do it flat out already. A small lift there. Might just be the telemetry not showing us the correct inputs, but I think that's maybe a small lift or almost flat at least. Heading towards turn 4, 318 kilometers an hour, I think I saw. Hard on the brakes to second gear, third gear. It's always a very fun corner, but very easy to get into the gravel on the outside. Then hard on the brakes down to second gear as well. Very easy to understeer here and lose easily have a second as well. You can see the car struggling with the rear with the cold tires. Also very tricky corner this with the gravel on the outside. Here we go to Pouillon, of course probably the trickiest and fastest corner on track. Does he keep it within the ice? Ooh, that might have been track limit there. I'm not too sure. Heading down to sector 2. Hard on the brakes as well to third gear. Rolling the car in. Early on the gas, but not too early, otherwise you get some oversteer. Ooh, I'm missing the gravel there on the outside. And now setting yourself up for the long run towards the bus stop chicane. Get a good exit. Just keep your steering wheel as straight as possible there. I don't think he lifted there either. Now full on the gas towards the final 2 corners of the lap. Bus stop chicane, very tricky, of course, with the you have to steer to the right and uphill, so that's very easy to unsettle the car as well. Hard on the brakes at 200 meters. Keeping in second gear for now, around the final corner. Let's see what time Previato can put on the board. So far, still 2 purples for now, and it's a 2:002, which is a very competitive lap time out of the gates, I have to say. Like Ethan with the cold tires, it's a very good lap time.
Yeah, it is. Surely is. And also just our great chat on YouTube pointed out on the telemetry, if the throttle is not 100%, it's just the battery usage, which is essentially compensating the 100% or filling in these gaps. So if you see on the telemetry not like the throttle not being 100%, it's mainly because of the battery, which is filling in those gaps of throttle.
That makes perfect sense. Of course, the Valkyrie doesn't have the the battery. It's purely on fuel, so full on telemetry over here. Let's see. It's a lot more top speed compared to the Ferrari we're just following, and going purple in sector 1 for now. So that's a good sign for the Valkyrie so far.
Yeah, it is. It really looks great as well. Like Schlichting, I know him from last season. He is a good driver, and I'm happy to see an Aston Martin being competitive right now, because I'm sure everyone out there in the chat is also kind of rooting for this car because it's just looking great, it sounds great, and yeah, I think it's fun to drive. You can drive it as well.
It is. It's very fun to drive that car. Also, even though the onboard sounds lack a little bit of the outboard sounds, it's still very cool. As we can see, the timing tower on the left is very competitive on the top 3 with 3 different brands. Currently, Toyota on top with a 59.8, which is insanely fast, I have to say. Petson in the Ferrari only 7 thousandths of a second behind, with Casciaro in third, not even 2/10 behind. So it's a very competitive top 3, and the whole top 10, I have to say, is within a second. So that's very competitive so far, as the Aston Martin heads towards the bus stop chicane as well. Just in front of one of the fifth one Ferraris. Let's see what time the Philip Schlichting can put on the board. Not the greatest of middle sectors, so let's see what they can do. Heading towards the start-finish straight, as we have Petson going quicker with 6,000 of a second. Schlichting only managing P12 right now with 1.6 seconds behind on the leader.
It's really ridiculous how close it is, because we get Pazan, who just said, and Lo Monaco, who said another time. So we get like the first one is separated by 3,000 to the second. The second one is separated by 6,000 to the third one. So it's ridiculously close. The top 3 are like insane. If you look at it with your bare eyes, you can't tell apart if one's faster or the other one.
Yeah, scratch everything I said about the top 3 being close. This is even closer. Less than 1/100th of a second between the top 3, which is insane. And still, the whole top 12 now is within 9/10 of a second. It's insane. This is going to be very close. It's way too early to tell, even now with 2.5 minutes to go, who is going to be on pole here today. We can only wait and see as we're following Marco Canta. Not the greatest of first sectors, 1/10 down on the fastest time so far. Let's see what he can do. And also not a great middle sector, 7/10 down and not a personal best as well. So this is not going to be the lap for Marco Canta. So maybe he has enough fuel to complete another lap after this. We're going to have to wait and see. This is already becoming a very, very interesting qualifying session. We have 2 minutes to go, so anything can happen still. So far.
Yeah, of course. As Marco Canta is turning to the boxes. As Francesco Pellegrini is also on a great lap, the fastest first sector, but I suppose and assume he was off track somewhere because the second sector is not listed in here.
Yes, and he heads into the pits as well.
Yeah.
So that's his qualifying done. All right, following Simone Casciaro in the Peugeot, currently the highest ranking Peugeot with 4/10 behind the P1. Let's see what he can do in Sector 1, heading towards Turn 4. Just down, but just a little bit, so it would put him in P3 right now, crazy enough. So let's see what he can manage in Sector 2. It's kind of crazy to say that he's going to be in P3 by being down by only like 0.04 of a second. It's insanely close.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous.
Nice and tidy here.
How close they are.
Let's see what he does through Pouillon, keeping it nice and tidy. That is very tidy. No track limits there. As we have a short yellow flag on track, probably just someone stopping to get back to the pit lane. Down to third gear, easy on the throttle, very easy to oversteer here, as I mentioned before, very easy to clip some gravel. Keeping it in third here as well, and then setting yourself up for the final back straight. Also 2/10 down on the second sector, so that's also not a personal best, so I don't think this is going to be the perfect lap to get pole position here today, but let's see if he can improve his starting position nonetheless. Heading towards the bus stop chicane. On the brakes, 200 kilometers an hour. Tricky turning in point there, not losing the rear. Final corner of the track. Early on the gas as possible, and then heading towards the start-finish line. He's currently in 8th, and he stays in 8th. Yes, he does.
Oh my days. Look at this P4, this top 4.
Oh, wow.
It's ridiculous. Nota with a 59.595, then followed by Lo Monaco with just being 11 thousandths off, and then Pizan being 14 thousandths off, and Kanta being 20, so 200ths off. This is really as close as it can possibly get. And we got Mateusz Brocek also on a lap currently, which is not looking bad at all. He just lost about 800ths of a second in first sector. He has a personal best in the second sector, so let's see what he can do through Blanchiment and the bus stop chicane.
Here we go. Final corner to the left.
Curb. Accelerating. And
let's see what he does.
To be a pole position.
Oh!
Ridiculous.
That's a top 5 spread out by less than 500ths of a second.
Yeah.
That is insane.
This really is insane.
That's crazy. For context, I believe the human eye blinks in 0.2 of a second or something like that. So that's, yeah, you cannot blink this fast.
Yeah.
This is mental. Well, if anything, this sets us up very nicely for the race to come. Especially with the top 5 being so close as it is, and the top 15 spread out by just 0.9 of a second. This is gonna be mental.
I mentioned the P21 is also just 1.4 seconds off, and it's we are heading down to the starting order. I will say what I want to say afterwards.
Perfect. I missed the front row. I'm so sorry. On the third row, we have Luca Lomonaco and Francesco Pezzini, the two Ferraris. On the third row, we find the two Toyotas, Marco Canta and Paul Paut, if I'm saying that correctly. Row 4, also two Ferraris, Francesco Pellegrini and Arthur Rontaert. Like we mentioned before, a lot of Ferraris in this field. Row 5, Matteo Previato and Simeo Cascado. Even more Ferraris on row 6, Michel Drezzo and Eric Quillet. As we go to row 7 with the Porsche in P14, Lucas Cedar and Daniel Benefield on P13. Another Ferrari in P15 with Mathieu Bouquet, Robin Deschamps in P16. Paulo Orto in the Porsche in number 17. Clement Gergaud in number 18. Then down to P19, Stanislas Pajut in the Toyota and Benjamin George in the Ferrari. Then we find the Valkyrie on P21, Philip Schlichting, the last of the hypercars. The first of the, and then we go to the GTs. Malco M. Thomas, P23, Kelsey Osborne in the Ferrari, P24. Louis Mentru, P25, Clemens Kensel, P26, also in the Ferrari. Both Ferraris in the top 5, very nice to see. Filip Radomski in P27, Alessandro Alfano in the Aston P28. Alex Bailey in, I think that's the first of the Lexus P29, Marco Galetti P30, Chris Vinning P31, P32, Robin Dupois in the second Lexus, Eduardo Dorito in the Porsche 911 P33, and Johan Ivora P34. And the final car on the grid is Gabriel Daher P35, also in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out and honor the first row of the hypercar as well. It was Mateusz Bartczek who set it on pole, and P2 Nico Nota.
Yes.
Or Nico, yeah.
And
as well Matteo Pesci, who set it on pole in the LMG3s. So yeah.
Amazing job by those guys. I gotta get a bit distracted, so I missed those. I apologize. Amazing laps by all of those drivers. So this is going to be something. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. With a qualifying this close, this can only mean a lot of good stuff for the race to come.
Yeah, surely, with such close qualifying in both classes as well. But the hypercar was today really the most exciting part. So yeah, really ridiculous, and I'm just tuned and hyped for this race to start in around 30 seconds.
Good stuff. As you said, less than 30 seconds, almost 20 seconds now to go to the start of this race. We're going to see what happens. Can Barzenk keep his pole position? Is Nota gonna get into the slipstream on the back straight and get the lead from him? We're going to find out. We're going to see what happens here. Stay with us. We're not going anywhere, and we have an exciting race to go as the clock ticks down to 0, which means that the formation lap is starting. The field is headed by the Ferrari of Barzenk, followed by Nota. This is setting up to be a very interesting race. Let's see if they can all keep it clean in the first corner, which is also very tricky on this track sometimes.
It surely is. Las Rosas really ridiculously. It has a lot of huge, maybe Santa incidents, but we hope it's going to be all tidy and clean this time around, as the drivers are preparing to accelerate out of the last corner and heading towards the start-finish line.
Good stuff. Cars heading towards the start-finish straight, double file. Here we go then. The first race of the Virtual Motorsport Series Season 3 Silver Split is going underway in a couple of seconds for now. Let's see what happens going down to turn 1 as we go racing in Spa. And there we go, green flag. An hour of racing here in the Belgian Ardennes. We're heading down to turn 1. Barzenk on pole. Can he keep that lead going down to turn 1? Yes, he can, it seems like. It's a good stuff of Lomonaco as well. Now heading down to Eau Rouge and Radion. Down the slipstream. Oh yeah, 3 wide.
I was expecting this as well, and they are sticking to it. Oh,
yes.
They seem to make it one piece. coming off track, but that's the least problem they have.
Always better than having a massive crash, of course. So
Yeah.
very good stuff. As we do have a yellow flag somewhere.
Oh, as Michael Thomas took the first place from Pesci, so Pesci was not able to keep his pole position and convert it into a P1 lead.
Yes, as we can see, in the hypercar, Barzank did manage to keep his lead so far, and he's already pulling a gap of about 9/10. But in GT3, he had to. There's a lot of battling going on as well. Here we're following the Toyota of Matteo Priviato, followed by Lucas Cedar in the Porsche. And to Pouillon, this is usually not a place to overtake, but he does take a brief look on the inside, as we have a yellow flag again somewhere. Hopefully nobody is stuck in the gravel and everybody can continue. Yellow flag is gone already, as we have a Porsche, a spinner from
Paulo Auto, the number 4 Porsche, was just able to avoid the collision with the GT3s coming behind him. So it's a good thing he did not crash into someone or someone else crashed into him.
Luckily, no major damage there, as I can tell right now. But it does mean that they are stuck behind the GT3 traffic for now. That's going to be quite a challenge to catch up to the back of the hypercar field. As the first lap is complete, we're coming back onto the main straight, overstart finish. We have Barzank maintaining his lead in hypercar, already putting a gap of over a second. In GT3. If we have a crash of I think that's the same Porsche and Peugeot there.
Yeah, it was surely a Porsche going off track in Blanchiment. Oh, and that's a big one, big shunt, I think.
Let's see what happened there with the GT3 traffic.
Sure, it was Paulo Auto. But was it? Oh, he got flipped by the Ferrari, by the GT3 Ferrari, and then the Peugeot I think kind of confused and just clipped the gravel as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
That is a shame. It surely is. That means it's the first retirement of this race is the Peugeot. That is a shame. You never want to see that kind of accidents. It's very high speed as well. So if you have a crash there, then it's usually a game over for you. So we're following the battle between Alessandro Alfano, scratch at Joan Ivora, and Robin Dupouillon coming on to turn 4. Is he gonna take a look down the inside? On the brakes, side by side, and he doesn't manage to get the overtake completed. Ivora maintains P8 for now. That's right. Yeah, he does take a look, but he is not close enough to have a go right now.
To this corner, it's very tricky to look down the inside and overtake. It's really easy to. It's really easy to get a collision there and maybe push the car on the outside, essentially off the track. So that's not what you want to see. But luckily, nothing happened here. As he again seeks down to the inside here to Pouillon. Also not a move many of us are expecting, but he makes it work for now. If Ivora is not counter-attacking, no, he's not. At least he seems not to be. So that's a P8. That's up to P8 for Robin Dupouillon.
It's a very nice move as he slides on the exit there through the gravel, almost forcing the car ahead of him to go wide through there and then getting on the inside. Very nice move indeed. Both leaders of the classes maintaining a bit of a lead. Barzank almost 2 seconds clear of no time, which is kind of crazy given how close qualifying was. And M. Thomas over a second clear now of Pesci in the GT3 class. So both leaders are gapping the field behind them quite nicely so far. So let's see if the pack behind can catch up to them. As we see a move by Lucas Cedar on the inside of Mathieu Bouquet. He makes it stick very nicely down the inside. It's a bit more of a conventional overtaking spot, I would say, there.
Yeah.
Move nicely done up into P14 right now.
Yeah. But also it's a long game to play. There are just under 55 minutes to go. So the P2s have literally the whole race to try to attack P1 and try to gain the essentially the most wanted place on this grid, the win and the top step of the podium.
Yes, exactly. It's well, there's 54 minutes left to go, so we're not even scratching the surface of the distance of this race, of course. All the teams do, or drivers do, have to make a pit stop at some point this race. It being quite a short race, relatively sane for these type of cars. There's not a lot of strategy involved, but they do have to make a pit stop. So we can expect to see a bit more stuff from that, especially towards the end of the race when the fuel tanks and virtual energy tanks are a bit more emptied. Do you feel like we can see some different strategies? Maybe people going early or staying out late? Is it something you expect to see?
I think I do, yeah, because undercuts can be beneficial here, but do not always need to be. Also, overcuts can be beneficial, but also do not need to be. So it's kind of like a play in the unknown, but it can really play out for some people to have like a alternative strategy to essentially overtake the car in front of you with a better strategy. If you are like stuck behind the car and you really want to get past them, but you don't find a way to do it, as we are on the camel straight, and there's again a 3-pack really fighting for every meter of this track and every position. It's, I think, what is this, P10 to P8, if I'm correct.
I would say so, yes. It's some very hard battling going on here. I think actually it's all the way down from P6 to P10, roughly, seeing the amount of cars. So they're still very close, following each other very closely behind. Also setting up a move here coming towards Pouillon. Usually not a place you want to be on the inside, and he backs out of it as well. A lot more easy to get the slipstream down the back straight and make your move towards the bus stop chicane, for example. So he stays behind it for now. But the hypercar field is keeping very close to one another. Even the Valkyrie is, although even being 1.6 seconds off during qualifying, is managing to keep closely to the pack, which is nice to see. We want to see close racing, of course, and so far this is not disappointing.
No, not at all. It's really great and close. We see like only P2 is a bit off, and afterwards in both classes, it's really under a second to the car in front of you, so it's really close, it's really competitive, and nobody, of course, wants to give up their position, so they are always going to give one hell of a fight about every position, essentially.
Exactly. So something that as we see an overtake for P15, Daniel Beneveld staying on the outside with Benjamin George. Oh, now, whoa. Risky move to the outside. Can he make it stick? Not right now. Switchback move. Coming up to Eau Rouge and Radion. Down the slipstream on the main straight. Can he make the move coming down to turn 4 in the slipstream? Bit of a lift there to keep within track limits. And now in the slipstream down to turn 4. Can he make the move to the outside? Beneveld is defending hard, of course.
Oh, they have contact. Later, they have a few another one. But no severe damage, I hope, for each of them.
I wouldn't say so. These cars can handle a little bit, of course, but Benjamin George, as he goes a bit wide there, doesn't manage to make the move stick just yet. So he'll have to buy this chance another time. Let's see if he can make a move further down the track. As you can see, like this is P15, and over there is you can see the Valkyrie in, I think that's then P17, P18, but still very closely, of course. Well, you would expect so within 10 minutes, but it's nice to see as the leader Barzank is gapping over 4 seconds already. He is having some mind-blowing pace right now.
He is. It's really crazy. 4 seconds after 10 minutes of the race already lapsed is really a statement, I would say. So not something I was expecting, but also we have, like I said, 50 minutes remaining just at this point. So Nota is not going to like give up anything. He's going to keep pushing and trying to somehow ease this gap up to, essentially overtaking to P1. But that's stuff of the future. Let's concentrate on what is happening right now, as we have a battle for P4 the Lexus hunting down the Ferrari of Clemens Keinsel, with a beautiful livery, I would say. I would want to say it the whole qualifying session, but I just love this purple blue livery.
It is very cool indeed. It's a lot of nice liveries, I have to say. Also the blue and yellow Ferrari in the hypercar I noticed. But there's a lot of different, very cool custom liveries, of course, this season, which is very nice to see. Also makes it a lot easier for us to pick out each car, but it's also just very fun to see everybody running their own special liveries with the colors that they like.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool to have these liveries. I suppose the Clemens Keinsel and 2 other GT3s, or I don't know, 2 other GT3s as well. I was looking at the introductory site we have on our Discord. Talking about Discord, if you want to be up to date every time to know what is going on in this beautiful virtual racing series, go on our Discord, and there you have all informations about when the race is going to start and who is essentially driving. But what was pointed out, this livery is, I think, 2 times represented on the grid, 1 time in hypercar and 2 times in the GT3s, because it's like one team. I think it was called something like Fischer Racing Esports, I think. So that's a cool fact.
Awesome. That is very cool indeed, as we are watching Mentroep going up Eau Rouge and Radion, almost over track limits, I would say. Going for P2, Matteo Pecci, can he make the move for second place in the LMGT3 field? As he heads down the inside of Pecci, hard on the brakes, can he make this stick? I would say he does. He's still on the inside, I think. But he clears him nicely. Yes.
And that's puts
nice
him
move.
Into P2, I think.
It sure does. Yes, second place in the race. So let's see if he can manage to close that gap to P1 a bit more. Of course, it's also about 3 seconds right now.
Oh my days.
Oh wow. Of course, keeping it 3 wide to turn 4, almost 4 wide even. Wow.
Oh my god.
Somehow no crash.
Somehow not colliding.
Force down the inside. Oh, bit of a wiggle. That is great stuff going on here. Look at those cars being so close to one another. This is insane stuff.
This really is.
I would have crashed already for sure.
Yeah, me too. Surely it looks mayhem, but these guys are really performing at their best, and it's really great to see this.
Even down the field in this is P15 to I would say P10 or P11. Even down there's a lot of great battling going on. Everybody wants to get a position higher and get even closer to the front, of course. This is great stuff going on here. A lot of wheels through the gravel there, trying to maximize every single part of the track to get as much as performance as you can. A downside of this is, of course, that the amount of use you get from the slipstream is minimalized because the car in front of you also has slipstream. But it's very close racing so far. And I'm very surprised, to be honest, that there hasn't been any more big crashes so far this evening.
Yeah, these guys are really keeping it tidy all race around till now. So it's a really good thing. And I would just wanted to point out one thing. I think you also did not notice, and I didn't too. We had the retirement of Osborne. This was the Ferrari who collided essentially with the Peugeot, and I think he qualified quite well. So I didn't pick up on this. I would just want to point it out. And Evora also the Porsche, not the
the GT3 Porsche, I think.
Yeah. He also retired. I was just.
That is a shame.
Seeing this, it really is.
Yeah, I believe Osborne was the second highest qualifier of LMGT3, so this is a huge shame to see them out of the race already, as we have the Toyota making their way past the GT3 traffic already. We have a yellow flag somewhere. Let's see if we can... Oh, down the inside. That's always a tricky move there.
It is. Especially with this hypercar field all packed out in like I don't know, 5 cars
Whoa!
pieced in. Oh my god, oh my
Whoa!
goodness.
That is...
Oh, it's like I was saying, there are so many hypercars and so many GG3s essentially on like one big spot, so it's always very tricky to maneuver around all of them. So ridiculous, but luckily nobody has been seriously damaged or hurt in any way right now, so that's a good thing. We'd like to see.
Now we're seeing some great driving so far. And this is also, of course, what makes endurance racing or this type of multi-class racing so interesting, is that you have these different type of races all in one. As we can see, P5 pets in, trying to attack Marco Canta in P4. Doesn't make the move just yet. Oh, now he gets overtaken by the other Ferrari. This is some great stuff. You attack someone and then you get attacked right after that. This is great. Oh, now another car down his inside. This is going all over the place, these drivers. Down to turn 1 on the outside. Oh, they barely touch. And now it's a drag race towards Eau Rouge and Pouillon. Radion, apologies. Can he get alongside? No, he doesn't. He tucks in just behind the other Ferrari. Probably the safest bet to do so through these corners. But now the slipstream towards turn 4. On the outside again, in the slipstream of the Ferrari ahead. Can he make it this time? Late on the brakes, but Petsin is even later, side by side there, and he has to tuck in behind again. Some great racing we're seeing here, giving each other just enough space to keep the car in one piece, but it's there's some tough fighting going on there.
It really is. It's really exciting, but tough fighting and also fair fighting. So it's as we have a gravel coming up. I hope nobody is being seriously.
There's a yellow flag out, so hopefully nobody crashed.
Well. Hopefully.
Let's see. The yellow flag is cleared again, so I think everybody is still in one piece so far. Of course, it is infighting between these guys and the guys in P3, 4, and 5. Is of course great news for the leader, both in Hypercar and LMGT3, who are still maintaining a huge lead of over 6 seconds at this point. 6 seconds in not even 20 minutes. That's insane pace. Let's see if Monaco can do something about that in the end.
Really some tremendous pace of both leaders in this class respectively, and I wanted just to point out how close it is. You must imagine P5 Nota in the hypercars was, I think, around 2 or 3 laps ago was P2 and had a, I don't know, distance of 5 seconds of a lap to Bargenk, and now is P5. So it's really like they're rotating down the order all the time. It's really a constant fighting, a constant switch in positions. It's really the best you can imagine, and this is only the silver split.
This is insanely close racing so far. So I'm really intrigued to see what the other splits come with as well. Of course, you can join us this Sunday, same time, same channel, for the gold split. And next week we are doing the bronze on Friday and the platinum on Sunday, as we're lining up for a move over here towards turn 4. Michele D'Orazio on the inside, and he makes it second. Oh, there's contact on the rear. Big lock up there from Deschamps, and he makes contact with the rear of D'Orazio. Hopefully not too much damage there, but the tire will be flat spotted nicely now.
Yeah, this is always a bit of a hurting moment if you don't get the move done and also get a flat spot. It's always like you get hurt twice or penalized twice by your actions. But this is motor racing. This is all it's about.
It is a part of motor racing, and that's why we love it. A lot of stuff going on right now in this race, although it does seem to have calmed down just a little bit for now. But the gaps remain very, very close. As we look to the battle for P6, Arthur Rondhart followed Francesco Petsin.
Somewhere around this track.
And it's removed again, so probably, yes, just a small off track somewhere. Oh, and loses the brakes. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, in the wall. Oh, that is a shame.
into the wall. I
That
hope he
is,
didn't pick up any severe damage and can continue his race.
yeah, you don't want to pick up any suspension damage from that.
Oh, no.
That would be very bad. That is a shame. There was a nice battle up to that point, but he loses the rear on the brakes going to the bus stop. Very easy to do there with the braking zone, but it's and he makes contact with P6 as well. So that is a shame. Let's see if these guys can keep it more clean. Heading up toward Eau Rouge and Radion. That is a great corner. That is. I know it's very cliche to say, but Radion remains probably the best corner in motor racing. It has to be.
100%. And the whole track is just arguably the best or one of the best we have in Europe or all around the globe. It's really a great track, great corners, and I think really the drivers enjoy to give it the all and fight on this track especially.
It's a real driver's track, I feel. The driver
Yeah.
can make a difference here.
Yeah, sure.
It rewards being brave. It rewards being going for a move that nobody expects. So and it's just great to watch as well. Of course, seeing these cars drive around this magical place. As right now the gaps seem to open up just a little bit. People are finding their rhythm. We're not too far away from the halfway point of this race already. We mentioned before that there is not going to be too much strategy going on in this race. It is the time is it is a bit more of a sprint race, this hour race, but they do have to hit on time, of course, to get the proper amount of fuel in the car. And these cars work on virtual energy. Maybe it is a good idea to explain a little bit about that. Do you want to do that, Daniel?
I can do it there. So we have, like, I would say, two kinds of virtual energies. You have the GT3 ones and also the Valkyrie ones. These cars are solely relying on the combustion engine. So the virtual energy is, I would say, kind of like the BOP and the restrictor of how much fuel or energy essentially you can use around one stint. So if you get like a GT3 with 50% of virtual energy, it does not mean he has like 20% fuel and 30% battery. It's all just fuel and combustion engine, but it's restricting his the amount of torque he can use around the whole stint essentially. In the hypercars, there's the difference because a part of the Valkyrie, these are hybrid hypercars with their own hybrid system. The LMH are with 200 kilowatts, and the LMDH, so the ones Porsche, Cadillac, BMW, and I think what was it? Alpine was.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they have less of a hybrid system, but they also have a battery, and you must imagine if you have 50% of virtual energy, you can have 40% of this being the combustion engine and 10% of it being the battery. So you can adapt how much battery output you have around one lap or around one acceleration, so you can adjust strategically how you use your output of the car essentially. I hope it was kind of clear.
It was to me. It is a very complicated system, of course, and as a driver, you have to really put that system to your own benefit. You can really gain some performance in the car, or at least for the duration of the stint. Oh, there's a big snap there by Benefield coming on the main straight. No, that you can gain quite a big benefit from using that system to its full potential. So we can, for instance, if Le Monaco extends his first stint by a lap or two even, we could see him close that gap of 9 seconds at this point, to Barozenk just a little bit if he manages to gain those couple of laps and having to do a shorter final pit stop, so to speak. So we're going to have to wait and see how that works out. These hypercars can do about 45 minutes on a single tank, so we're expecting those pit stops to happen in about 20 minutes, I would say. And for the GT3, those tanks last about 50 minutes, so we're expecting those in about 25 minutes. So that might cause a little bit of chaos nearing the end of the race, so we're going to have to wait and see how that unfolds itself. 34 minutes on the clock and 9 seconds to go, with Barazenk still in the lead in a hypercar with Monaco, almost 9 seconds ahead of him. Poort in 1.4 seconds behind, Kanta 1 second behind, and Nota 1.5 seconds behind. Further down the grid, we have Petsin 8 tenths, Casciaro 4.5 seconds, Rontar 2.3 seconds, D'Arezzo 3 tenths, and Dichon 1.4 seconds. The only DNF in hypercar so far is Garou in the Peugeot, which we saw crashing with one of the Porsches and a Ferrari LMGT3 near the start of the race. And we also have George in the Ferrari DNFing. So 2 DNFs so far. A lot more DNFs, so as we can see in LMGT3, 6 are already. Dorito, Mentrup, Dupont, Ivora, Osborne, and Radomski, with Osborne especially being the second place starter this evening. So it's a shame to see them retire already. So not too many GT3s remaining in this race, as we are on board with Michael M. Thomas, the current leader of LMGT3, with a comfortable lead of almost 4 seconds to P2. We're going to have to wait and see if he can keep that lead and stay out of trouble, and hopefully for him win this race this evening. Michael Thomas is new in this championship, actually. He got here through pre-qualifying, but it's a new name to see this evening. So he's probably going to be someone to keep looking for for the rest of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Winning or not leading the first race already is something you gain your name in this league. Essentially, you are getting one to watch out for, also for the drivers, but also for us as commentators. It's an astonishing and remarkable achievement to be leading this race somewhere halfway through, as Lucas Siedler and Matteo Bouquet are again fighting through Pouhon.
Yeah, this is by far the closest battle on track, I think, right now for the hypercar. These two have been following each other for a number of laps at this point, with some other cars coming and going as well, as they both go through the gravel. It is very easy to follow the car ahead in these kind of scenarios, and if the car ahead goes a bit through the gravel, then you follow him through the gravel as well. It's very easy to do that, of course. So we're gonna have to wait and see if Mathieu Bouquet is gonna manage to line up and move as well. As I can see, Kanta is very close to Poort in P3 and P4 as well. So we're gonna have to watch out for that battle as well for the coming minutes. And he actually goes into the pits. This is what I meant beforehand. Maybe with strategy, of course, you can't do too much, but now the undercut, like you mentioned before, can be very powerful here.
It can, yeah, and we will look out for this as well at the end of the race, how it's going to be after all pit stops are being sorted and served. So we'll see where he's going to end up, if he's going to gain some places or lose some places, because this is essentially a risky move when you are not driving or pitting like everyone else is. You're using a different strategy. So yeah, it's a huge, I would say, gamble that can pay out, but is not obliged to.
No, it's no guarantee, of course, to work out, actually, as we can see these two cars making their way through traffic, P5 and P6. Nico Notta and Francesco Pezzin, both in the Ferrari here, making their way through what little of the GT3 traffic is left so far. Oh, and he almost closes the door. That's nearly a heart attack there. This is the tricky part, going through the traffic while you're following the other car so closely. That this is where you can make or break your race, essentially.
Yeah, surely. The traffic is always some tricky stuff which can benefit you, but also can hurt a lot when you're sitting in a hypercar and essentially battling for positions they can maybe hindrance your as we have the
Both
both of
Toyotas here.
Toyotas, with both being the same special livery.
Going
Having
to turn 1. Let's see if Kanta can line up a move here on the inside. He goes for... now he backs out for now.
for maybe hoping for some good old slipstream down Camel Straight and beforehand Radiant or Rouge. But I don't know
Let's
if he
follow.
maybe is already a bit too far off. We will see.
Closing the gap about 3/10 now. I think this is just a bit too far away for now. Let's see, in the braking zone, I think it will be around 2/10. Yeah, about 2/10. So that is a bit too far to make the move right now. As Nico Notta has been overtaken, I think, by P4. Oh, and side by side, they're making contact, but they keep each other alive for now. Some contact again between the Peugeot and the Ferrari there. Still side by side. Great stuff. He's going to launch it down the inside. No, he isn't. He's going to be sensible and follow the Ferrari through here. Like you mentioned before, this is a very tricky corner to go side by side. It's very easy to understeer to the other car, so it's probably wise to slot in behind them. As I'm noticing now, Lo Monaco is in the lead at this point, following by 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think Bajnik was into the box. I hope he was not sustaining any severe damage or off track. I just think he went to box. I don't know if it's early right now, and maybe we can get a quick look at the virtual energy sometime. And yeah, because
he's currently in P13.
Yeah, and it seemed, I don't know, is it too small of a gap to being into the box? Can't tell.
I think it's roughly the time that you would expect. Of course, the tanks at this point are over halfway through empty, so they have enough space in both virtual energy tanks as the fuel tanks to fill up enough fuel to go to the end. So you can make your pit stop now and try to undercut the other car, avoid traffic, or get yourself out of the pits ahead of traffic. So there is that strategy that we mentioned that you can play with. So it's interesting to see where Bersink is going to come out eventually. As we are on board with Nico Notta still in P4, now with Bersink out of the pits, but this time also a bit too far back behind Petsin. So it's going to be interesting to see where Bersink is going to come out and where he ends up in the race. He had a healthy lead of about 9 to 10 seconds. So I would imagine that if nothing goes wrong for him, that he will come out ahead of P2 or the current leader, Lo Monaco. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. 26 minutes to go, over halfway through. This has not disappointed so far, it's safe to say.
No, not at all. It far exceeded my expectation, at least. I was not expecting such a close qualifying and such exciting race and such great battles we have. These guys have been delivering for 35 minutes already. So yeah, it's really great to see this happening.
It sure is. We're following Marco Kanta in the Toyota, who was around P3 earlier, but he also has made his pit stop. So we can see a lot more guys coming in for their stops right now, trying to get that undercut of on the car ahead. So it's going to be fun to see how that all plays out. It's currently following Daniel Benefield in P13. He's himself is in P14. So I think we have to watch closely on where Poit and Lo Monaco come out after the pit stops, to see what kind of effect this has had on their races respectively. As we're following Arthur Rontaert and Michel D'Arezzo, P5, P6. 5 tenths back right now. I think that's a bit too far back on to go for a move.
I assume so too.
Oh, down the inside of turn 1. That's big contact there. That's surely going to be some damage on the side pod, but I do think he makes it stick. However, he does open himself up now for a move on the back straight. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, big lift there. Oh, and the track limit.
But it's close, and we have to like remind ourselves from what happened last time with the two cars being 2/10 of a second separated. So now it's a lot closer.
Side by side through the corner.
He's gonna make it stick. I think he counter-attacks him, yeah, and retakes P9.
Yes, this is what happens when you overtake into turn 1 and not manage to get a gap instantly. Then you set yourself up very easily for an overtake down the back straight. As we're seeing the Valkyrie overtaking the Ferrari, or trying to overtake the Ferrari, but very easy, tricky corner there. So he stays in P12 for now, with Barzank actually ahead of him. So he is the net leader. So it might actually be Barzank getting past Philipp Schlichting in a very unusual place. But that Ferrari is just so much quicker right now than the Valkyrie. So doesn't really leave him a chance as he gets passed through by the GT traffic as well, not making it too difficult for them. That's nice stuff from Bergens. Now watching Stanislas Pajut for P10. Oh, that is a very, very risky move there. Down the inside of the infield, it is you don't really want to be on the inside there. And now he follows them on the back straight. Surely this is going to be a move down to the bus stop chicane. Flashing his lights even. Daniel, can you take us through this?
Yeah, flashing light is like, it has a lot of meanings, but we will just see how this is going to fold out eventually. They're both braking just ahead of the 100-meter board, as Daniel Benefield is trying...
Oh,
no,
and the spin, yeah.
And he's trying to correct him already, and this is kind of a fair sportsmanship, but of course, yeah, this is a bit of unlucky for both of them, because I don't think and he pulls some sort of a dive bomb on Canter.
Yeah, there's some rough racing going on here. Not what you want to see ideally. Oh, side by side with the GT3. There's some very tricky stuff by Marco Canter. You don't really want to do that if you don't have to, but he wants to get past Daniel Benefield as quickly as he can. Because I think Benefield is yet to make a pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. And Marco Canter does have made a pit stop, so he wants to get by this car as quickly as he can, now struggling behind the GT traffic. Let's look at the GT3 class here, being the Alex Bailey being overtaken by the Ferrari. Comfortable lead by M. Thomas, 3.5 seconds, followed by Petchy. Then Keinsel, over 5 seconds back. A lot of big gaps here in the GT field. A lot of DNFs as well, as we mentioned before, with Daher currently in the pits. So we're going to have to see if that is a scheduled pit stop or if that is a retirement as well. Closest on track currently is Bailey, following Galetti in the Aston Martin, Bailey in the Lexus. So GT3, a lot of carnage there today, so we're going to have to see how many of those manage to get to the finish line. Speaking of carnage, these two are getting at it again, heading towards the bus stop, hopefully keeping it clean this time. You can see the damage on the front of the Toyota there on the inside of the wheel cover. Let's see if they can keep it clean this time. You can feel how frustrated Marco Canter is behind the wheel to get this overtake done. Benefield defending the inside and almost losing the rear then on the outside. Switchback.
And again losing the rear on the acceleration, so on the exit of the bus stop chicane. Maybe Canter is going to try to seek into the inside, but he's just too far off, or is he? Oh, and there's a little contact once again. Oh man, these two are really giving it all. They're not...
You can feel how frustrated Marco Canter is behind the wheel. He wants to get this done, but he doesn't have the overspeed just yet to actually go to overtake Daniel Benefield. So we'll have to see what kind of magic he has to use to get past this Ferrari in front of him. Of course, the Ferrari is probably the fastest car in the field, so the Toyota, you have to come up with some clever ideas to actually get past them and keep it behind them. And now these frustrating corners where you can't really go side by side to get the overtake done. This is so frustrating as a driver. It has to be to know that you're faster, but you just cannot get the move done. All the while your competitors are having free air, can push on their own, and probably get the overcut like this on Kanta. So I'm sure he's getting very annoyed behind the wheel at this point. Maybe a move here around the inside. He goes for it. He goes for it. Side by side, he has his wheel in. Let's see what happens there. Oh, it actually makes it. Wow. That is a great move by Marco Kanta. Very unusual.
It's really great.
That is a phenomenal move there. That is some great stuff. And finally he gets past the Ferrari of Benefield. Finally some clean air. Now let's see if he can manage to close the gap to the cars ahead and actually pull a gap from the Ferrari behind them. First, of course, the tricky braking point there. But some good racing there for what is now P13, but hopefully a lot higher during the rest of the race. Axel Bailey closing the gap a little bit to Marco Galetti. Last time we checked it was, 1.5 seconds. Now it's around 0.8 of a second, so he's closing and closing. Maybe setting up a move later on as well. As we are kind of expecting the GTs to pit, those who haven't yet, around this time as well. Although I do suspect that most of them have pitted already. So we're going to see how that plays out. 17 minutes. Go ahead.
As a lovely chat pointed out to us, we were talking about the competitors of Kanta, and of course one competitor we don't see in the top 5 currently is Barzenk, the P1 leader before the pit stop. So I think we need to, in the next minutes, to just look how he is doing with all the traffic, and if he's able to cope with it, and how he is essentially doing around this track. Yeah.
For sure. I think the pit lane, I think you would lose about 20 seconds just by the pit lane, and of course you have to fill up the fuel as well. So I would say about 30 seconds loss as Nota actually goes in the pits right now from P4. I would say about a 30-second loss. Is that fair to say? Maybe a bit more?
Maybe a bit more, yeah. Maybe a bit more,
okay.
I think.
So we're going to have to see where how those gaps compare to one another after those pit stops. We just saw briefly that the entire GT field still has to make their pit stop, as well as the top 5 of the hypercars. So we're expecting those in about from now to 6 minutes roughly. Like I said before, the GTs can handle about 15 minutes on a full stint. So 6 minutes to go roughly.
Yeah.
Good stuff. There's still a lot of traffic there going on the inside of Pion, flashing the lights as well. Always tricky to overtake the traffic there. That's you want to keep that as clean and tidy as possible. Good stuff. Let's see. I feel like it's a bit like a calm before the storm at this point. There's something to come, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah. I feel this. It really is. It's like a bit too calm right now to have a to be driving right now. So we can have a good heads up now onto the energy which is remaining in these cars in hypercar.
Yeah, so we can see Barzenk on 34%, by far the most, maybe even a bit too much. As we see multiple cars heading to the pits right now. You need about 5%, apologies, to get a full lap. So Lumonaco with 5% actually manages to stay out 1 lap more, as pretty much every hypercar right now comes in to do their pit stop. So this is where we're going to see where Barzenk actually comes out. Nota still in P2 behind them. Monaco, yeah. This is the one lap, like I mentioned before. He manages to get that extra lap, stay out a bit longer, get into free air, and maybe extending or closing the gap towards Barzank, currently P7, overtaking all these guys who are currently in the pit lane, now into P3. And is that what just ahead of him? I think it is. I think I think, yeah.
It is.
So that means that Barzank has lost his lead of 9 seconds to Paul Poit. Oh, this is going to be, this is setting itself up very nicely for a battle here towards the end of the race.
So his strategy clearly didn't work out the way he was expecting it to be, surely, because I can't think of a way that he wanted to lose. I think there was 10 seconds in the last, I don't know, what was it, 20, 15 minutes. So now he has some work to do to get on the top step again.
For sure. I can only imagine that it is because of the car being a lot heavier with the added fuel than the guys who have pitted just now, going to almost an empty tank and then just adding the amount of fuel that they needed to go to the end. So this is quite a big strategy mistake there from Barzank, with Monaco pitting this lap. So we're going to see it's about the 34 seconds that I said earlier, but of course you said it's going to be a bit longer, so we're going to have to wait and see where Monaco ends up here. But Barzank, yeah.
Oh yeah. Some people in the chat are also referring that Barzank maybe switch tires because this adds around 12 seconds to your pit stop. So maybe that's a reason for why he is being so far off his usual, pace or his place he would like to be.
That is a very good point, and it's could very well be true because he does look to have the pace on Paul Poit. Those fresh tires give you a lot more performance compared to the old tires once you get them up to temperature. So maybe he thought, I have the gap, I have the performance to overtake these guys. Let's just go for it and make it a bit more enjoyable for myself with these fresh tires. Here we go through Radion, setting up a move very nicely, and this should be a very easy overtake, I think, on the Toyota.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Very nice and clean move by Barzank, which puts him in the lead again. So now let's see how much of a gap he can pull in the next 11 minutes to go. So maybe after all, this was a very strong strategy move by him. Of course, giving the lead to Poit in the Toyota, but setting himself up nicely with those fresh tires. Monaco, meanwhile, has come out in third with three seconds behind Toyota. So, of course, with a shorter stop, he could extend his stint a bit more. So he has less fuel in the car. So let's see if he can close that gap a bit more. Meanwhile, there are some huge gaps going on in the GT3 field. I think because of the some guys have a pit stop to make, I would say. That's
He is currently leading the field, and I think beforehand it was Thomas, but I'm not quite sure.
I think so as well. So he's currently 20 seconds behind. Yeah, so Petchy and Keinsel still have to make their pit stop, which will put Thomas back in the lead again. Like so, and Daher is still in the pit lane, so I would expect that that is a retirement as well for this race.
And Pesci has also stated he's in the pit box, so we will see where he will end up eventually, as we got a replay of Nico Notta and Francesco Pezzon going to Blanchimont. We had an incident here already. Hopefully it's not going to be another one. Now they're braking to bus stop, and oh yeah, it's Nico Notta who is essentially just braking way too late. And oh, that was what we were saying about in the replays. It might be sometimes that the cars are derailing. This is in fact not the case in real life, and only a certain unfortunate misfortunate on the replay system side.
Yeah, if anything, I would say that these cars are very much on rails as they are flying through this race with less than 10 minutes to go even. This has flown by so far, so let's see what these final 10 minutes bring. As Barzank is back to what he does best, and that is gapping the rest of the field by almost 3 seconds already. So I would expect a very dominant win from Barzank here if nothing goes wrong for him. As we have a penalty coming in for Vinning in the GT3. Let's see if we can find out why that is. At some point,
maybe referring to track limits because they are quite using the and there's a little
bit of contact there.
The side part of I don't know who is this? Priviato? No, Bouquet. Sorry.
Nice move there down the inside. So yeah, I would expect that penalty to be for track limits indeed. The game has its own system, of course, to pick up on those penalties. Almost hitting the back there with the GT. Oh, there's contact and a massive spin in the wall.
This is not something good.
Oh, that is a shame. Let's see what happened there. I think there was an Aston Martin GT3 ahead of Previato there. That is the Valkyrie, and there's the Aston Martin behind. So he has to put on the brakes, and then he just gets hit by the Ferrari from behind.
Oh, this looks cruel.
That is a shame. That is a shame. I hope he can continue. Guessing on the current gap, I think he did, but I'm not too sure. That is a real shame. Not really anyone's. Of course, it's the Ferrari's fault, but it's just very unfortunate to have happened like that.
Yeah, it is.
Part of the game, so to speak, with the traffic.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is part of the sport, and this is what makes this game and sport so rewarding if you win, because you know how easy it is to lose. So it's even more. You can even more celebrate your wins because you get the idea. It's even now everything can happen. One small mistake and essentially your 3-second lead is just vanished, and you end up, I don't know, in worst case just DNFing, in a good case being P2, P3, falling down the order. So it's really relentless, this game and sport.
It really is. But like you mentioned, if you do get it right, like Barzank and M. Thomas right now seem to have done so, it just feels amazing to get over that finish line and be first and finish in P1. Of course, there's still 6 minutes to go, about 3 laps, so there's no guarantees, but it's they're setting themselves up very nicely indeed. As we are following Axel Bailey, followed closely by Marco Galetti in the Aston Martin. I think Bailey so far right now is the only running Lexus at the moment. It does look like a very dominant Aston Martin win at the moment with the 1-2 finish, or 1-2 standing at the moment, I should say. So we have a yellow flag out somewhere. Could just be someone off track, and there we go. It's gone already. So. Nothing too crazy. Here we go. The Porsche of Paulo Ortu to turn 1. Early on the power. Oh, yeah, just a bit too early on the power.
Yeah, and that may be the risk of, or the downside of having tires which are worn 55 minutes already. It's a lot trickier to get them to accelerate, to get them to stop. So every input you're giving is essentially harder to really complete, and yeah.
Yes, it really is. It's, of course, these tires are made to last for longer than just 55 minutes, but they do wear, and the performance goes down over time. So you have to be very careful, especially in the acceleration zones, to keep the tire working correctly and not spin the car like that. Very easy to do. Don't ask me how I know that, but it's very easy to do. as we have a battle looming here for P2 actually in the hypercar. Paul Poit followed closely by Luca Lomonaco, heading towards the bus stop chicane. Only a couple of laps to try and get the move done, but he is setting himself up nicely in the Ferrari to go for second place in this race.
Just really, after his pit stop, he's recovering great from his. I mean, the tires are a bit cold. You have to like get into the flow again. You have to keep consistent. So he is closing. He's easing the gap away, and you know, with 4 minutes left on the clock, he's trying everything to make this move stick and to be on the second place.
That would be a very good result for Lomonaco. Of course, he had a bit of a tough half of the race. I think he actually started in P2, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be great for him to get back on the place that he started in. Right here, there's a battle for P8 between Robin Tichon and Michel de Retzo. Both the Toyota against Ferrari. The Ferrari going on the outside of the Toyota. This should be a fairly easy move. Squeezing him to the outside, not giving him too much room, but Ferrari gets the move done nicely into turn 4. The Toyota doesn't put up too much of a fight, as the Ferrari does go a bit wide there, so maybe there's a chance for the Toyota to come back at him. But right now it looks like the Ferrari has the move done and sealed, with the Peugeot actually fancying a move as well, just behind the Toyota, taking a look on the outside, but deciding not to go for it. And now you kind of have to follow the other cars through Pouillon, through the second sector of this track. But let's see if this if they all make it in one piece. I would hope so. I would say so. But it's Toyota on the verge of losing a second position here as well by the Peugeot. Peugeot used to be a very good car in this game, but it had quite a drastic BOP drop some updates ago. So usually you don't see those cars picked too much anymore, which is a shame. They're very cool cars, but they're still very cool to see them, people driving them. Setting up a move here on the inside. Does he make it stick? Almost. We've seen the crash today already, so
yeah. Blanchard was like and that was the
Toyota, huge lock up there.
The of Deschamps, yeah.
And almost collecting Benefield there as well, so losing a lot of places here all of a sudden. Robin Deschamps.
Highway also.
Yeah. On the inside. Making a bit of contact on the exit. Heading towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Let's see who backs out. Well, neither of them do. And
there's a yellow flag waving somewhere, and a penalty for Nota, for Nico Nota. He was running P5 a few minutes ago. And yeah, it seems like maybe track limits or something similar to this.
That's not how Nota wanted to have his race ending. He had quite a bit some good performance during this race, but right now down into P6, not where he would have wanted. Oh, we see the Ferrari on the outside of the Toyota for P2 here. Paul Poit under huge pressure by Luca Lomonaco, setting themselves up to Blanchemont and the bus stop chicane. What happened there? Let's see what went on the inside here. Yes, outside I should say. And the Toyota squeezing the Ferrari to the end of the track, so not being able to make the move stick. As we're there we go. We're back to live pictures there.
Yeah, and I think Barjanek is on his final lap, so this is the last lap of the race. So that's the last opportunity for Luca Lomonaco to somehow get past his Toyota competitor in front of him and secure a P2 finish at the season opener. But of course, Paul Poit is not going to give that away easily. He's going to do everything he can, everything that is within his power to...
Oh, this huge crash.
Days.
Oh no, what happened there?
Oh man, I think
The
he misjudged the Aston Martin, the GT3 in front of him, and just the Lexus, and just clipped his rear. Or was it
I would
Aston
say
Martin?
so, yeah. That's a huge shame. You don't want to see something like that end this way. Let's see what happened.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's not low accurate.
that is a
But that's a
shame.
shame. That is really a
Yes,
shame. And
that's
that's
not how you want your race to end like that.
no, not on the last lap as well. From traffic again, traffic incidents are always a relatively, um, I would say, controversial thing because everyone, the hypercars, are always arguing that they are fighting for someone, they are the faster class, but of course GT3s have their right to exist and right to be on the track. And this itself is always a shame, but having it on the last lap is really heartbreak for um, Paul Puat.
That it is for sure, as we're following Mateusz Barzenk towards the bus stop chicane on the final lap of this first race, first round of the Virtual Motorsport Series split, silver split here at Spa. He comes around the final corner, and Mateusz Barzenk is your first winner of this season. Full points for him. A dominant win, I have to say. Very impressive by him. Yet another finishing by another 9 seconds on Le Monaco in P2. If it wasn't for the crash, of course, Puat could have finished there, but that's how racing works. Petson in a very nice P3 to make it a Ferrari 1, 2, 3. Kanta and Puat finishing 4th and 5th to make it a Toyota 4 and 5th. M. Thomas has been leading the whole race for GT3, coming home as well. He's now on his final lap at the end of the first sector, so we have to wait a little bit for him to finish. As we can see, Keinsel has already finished, I think, based on, yes, and Galetti as well. So Keinsel, Galetti, and Winning are the 3, 4, 5. P1 and P2 still have to complete their those laps. So let's wait for those guys to finish their last lap of this race, with a very dramatic ending here. And well, this gap is only 1.5 seconds, so I don't want to jinx anything. But yeah, a small mistake could do a lot here.
And it really can. Yeah, we saw it as well. This round, essentially 1 minute ago. So now it's the main objective for Thomas to just sail his Aston Martin GT3 to the end and yeah, not doing it any harm or risking this tremendous effort by him to finish into P1.
Well, I think it's safe to say that he is got this in the bag. Hopefully not a commentator jinx there. But this would be a very dominant win for Michael Thomas. Has been leading pretty much since the start, and not set a foot wrong all race. Through the bus stop chicane, final corner to the left, and a very, very dominant win for Michael M. Thomas and the Aston Martin, followed closely by Matteo Pecci, also in Aston Martin. Keinsel in the Ferrari completes the podium. So not a 1, 2, 3, 4 Aston Martin here, but a very dominant performance by those cars. What a race! This was something. This was
This is
very,
really
very.
something.
If this sets us up very means something for the rest of the season, then I think we have a lot of cool stuff coming our way.
Yeah, surely we
Because
do.
this
This is
this
just
is
the
just the
start.
start.
Yes,
Exactly.
this is just the start. This is the first round of the silver split, and it's already delivering in every single aspect. And I would ask the drivers who are willing to give us an interview to just come on our Discord and join the interview waiting room. It should be somewhere down the list of your chats, your text chats, and your voice chats, so we can, you know, honor you.
Yes, let's talk about the standings. A lot of DNFs in GT3, but the finishers are M. Thomas winning the GTE3 race in this split, followed closely by Pecci in P2, Kainso in the Ferrari in P3, Galetti in P4, Vinning P5, and Alfano in P6, with the rest of the grid not making the finish line. Which is a shame, of course, seeing so many DNFs, but hopefully next race will end a lot better for most of these drivers. We saw Osborne crashing out quite early with the two hypercars. I think the second lap even of this race. The P2 in qualifying. So hopefully they can do a bit better during the race in 2 weeks. Both Lexus's DNFing, it's also a shame to see, of course, those old cars not making the finish line. The single Porsche with Dorito also not making the finish line. So hopefully for them, they have a better race next time, in 2 weeks' time, I think that is, in their Silver Series. Let's take a look as well at the hypercar finishers in a second. Should be a lot more finishes there.
Yep.
There we go. Bazenk, of course, as we mentioned, a very dominant victory by over 9 seconds, even with fresh tires, taking fresh tires. So very dominant performance by him. Great job. Followed by Lo Monaco and Petsin completing the podium, and a Ferrari 1, 2, 3. Then the two Toyotas of Kanta and Puat, P4, P5. Puat, of course, very close to P2, but missing out due to misjudging the Lexus on the final lap of the race. Great shame for him. D'Arezzo in P6, Casciaro in P7, Rontaert P8, Benefield in P9, Deschamps P10, Cedar P11, Kie P12, Pellegrini P13, Nota P14, which is a shame. He was quite high up at some point as well. Pajut in P15, Perviato P16, P17, the Aston Martin in Schlichting, not last, so that's also very good to see. And then we have P17 somewhere, I think, if it shows me in just a second, then I can tell you who. There we go. P18, Ortu in a Porsche, and we have 3 DNFs with P19, Bouquet, P20, George, and P21. And then I need to wait again for the next page. There we go. Gergo in the Peugeot. There you have it. That is the standings of the results of the first race for the Virtual Motorsport Series Season 3 Silver Split. And I do think we have an interview coming.
I will just put him here.
Perfect.
Hello, Clemens. How are you? Oh, he's muted. We just need to wait a second. This is our P3 finisher in the GT3 class. I'm again trying to remind every driver who's willing to give us an interview to just join our Discord and go to the interview waiting room. Should be somewhere down your left list of text channels and voice channels, and just join us to give us a quick chat.
Yes, let's see if Clemens is joining us in just a second. And maybe there are some other drivers as well who want to have a quick chat with us.
I just want to use the time to introduce Clemens properly. He's 14 years old. He's from Austria. So a very young driver we have. I think he is the youngest on the grid currently, being 14 years old. He drives in the same team as Robin Deschamps, and where is he? Oh, I don't know how it was called.
Let's see if
he's driving the Fisher Racing Esports, so he's teaming up with other ones who are also driving in our split, and you can see this by this very beautiful livery.
It should be Louis Mentrop, I think, and Aston Martin. Yeah,
yeah.
That's the purple livery, I think, that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. I will just try to get him here again. Hello, Clemens. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good. You?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine watching you battle your way through and finishing eventually into P3. How was this race? How did this race fall up for you? How were you
Um,
feeling?
yeah, I'm quite happy with the result, P3. Quali wasn't great, but it was okay. The race at the beginning was a bit, it was stressy. At the end, P3, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I believe totally. It was really great seeing you there. You mentioned some issues in the quality. Do you think you would have it was something that dragged you down, or do you think your pace was in the race crucial to get you there, and there wasn't really much to look forward to? So P3 is a good option, or you feel like you would have done better if you had a better qualifying, respectively?
Yeah, I hadn't much time to practice the last few days. So yeah, the quali, maybe 1 or 2 tenths, maybe P3 around that, where the other Ferrari was. But the two Astons in the race were too quick. Yeah, no chance.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Astons seem to have quite a bit of pace. Do
Yeah.
you feel like you can attack them with the Ferrari for the whole season?
I hope so. Like we saw in the pre-quali, Spa is a good track for the Aston. But I think at the next round at Qatar, I hope it's Qatar. If not, I'm
Should be,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah. I hope that I can fight back against the Astons. Qatar is one of my stronger tracks. And yeah, I think overall, the season, I will have a good chance to fight against the Astons. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next races.
Well,
Well,
thank you
that's
very much.
great to hear,
And
and we look forward to seeing you race out on track against the Aston Martins. It was great fun seeing you race today. So hopefully you get a good result next week as well. And we wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right,
What?
have a nice evening, and we'll see
Yeah,
you next
you
time.
too. Yep, bye.
goodbye. So we have Michael Thomas, the race winner in GG3, waiting for us in the interview waiting room. Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling just fine. You were quite dominant today. You tell us about how your race folded out. You started on P3, I guess, and snatched P1 quite fast, and from then on really dominated and give up your rhythm and pace to the rest of the field. How are you feeling doing this?
I was just taking it easy into T1 and somehow got the lead. I think the Pesci on the inside was quite kind, gave that space. But yeah, then from then on, I wasn't expecting to have such of a pace advantage. I thought, they might be doing some strategy stuff, which they did an extra lap. But I was confident that if I just kept pushing, I could, still keep the gap, even with the fuel save, the energy save that they did. I struggled massively, pretty much the whole race driving the car. I think I was maybe overdriving all the time. Some laps it worked, some laps it didn't. Tires were just dying so much towards the end. And then obviously when he was within like a second and a half, kind of had to go full focus. But yeah, other than that, just a sweaty race, quite honestly.
Well, you did manage to keep it on track very nicely. How was it for you to manage all those hypercars coming past? Because we have a very big hypercar field, of course, this year. How was it to try and avoid all those hypercars around you?
I think honestly, it might just be the first round, but pretty much all of the hypercar drivers were perfect. We'll see how that goes later on in the season when they're maybe fighting for championship positions. But yeah, it was quite simple. I would say like 90% of it was really good timing. There was only 1 or 2 where it was in an awkward position. But you do so many races at Spa, where the right places are to lift and to let them through at the right time. And yeah, like I said, they were well behaved. So,
Well, that's always good to hear. Of course, this is a very good way to start your season, winning the first race. What are your personal expect of what do you expect of yourself coming the next races? Do you want to keep the space? Do you think you can keep the space?
I mean, we'll see, because obviously we've done a lot of laps at Spa. Everybody has done a lot of laps at Spa for the pre-quali. So I think like obviously everybody's going to be quite strong generally. So we'll see how it goes for other tracks. I think tracks that people have put less time into. For me, I just want to kind of not crash, because that's the thing I'm finding most difficult in the Aston, is to make it go fast and not die. So as long as I can survive every race, we'll see where we end up. That's the goal.
All right, good stuff. I think that's it for me. If you do you have anything to add, Daniel?
I do not. I just want you to congratulate on this tremendous result, and enjoy it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Have a nice evening.
Goodbye. So moving on to Matteo Pesci. This is the P2 of the GT3. Hello, Matteo. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, fine. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. You were on pole, you were finishing P2. I'm sure it was not the result you were hoping for, given that you qualified on pole position. How did you feel our race, and did you think you had what you think were your errors, or why you ended up behind Thomas?
Well, it was a little bit of I don't know. I never did let's say competitive races on Le Mans Ultimate, so it was my first one. So let's say I don't have that racecraft knowledge that maybe it's required to do races like this. So I spent basically all the race to trying to understand if I was saving enough. If I was saving too much. So I don't know. It was a little bit confusing all the race. Of course, when you start in pole position, you always hope to end up in P1 in the race, which is where it matters. But I'm pretty happy, honestly, because as I said, it was my first race, competitive race. So I'm happy. I learned some things in this race that I will bring and improve for the next rounds. But overall, I'm happy. I think maybe I've saved too much at the beginning of the race where Michael went away. I had a couple of moments with hypercars, which costed me, I think, 2 or 3 seconds. That in the end could have been crucial. But anyway, super compliments to Michael for the pace, and looking forward to the next round.
Well, that sounds very good. Did it surprise you kind of to see this kind of pace from you, getting the pole position as well?
Yeah. I mean, during the pre-quali, there's like a lot of silver drivers that were faster than me passed in gold. So I was first in the pre-quali, and I kind of expected at least to be on the front. The pole position surprised me a bit because I'm not that good in quali. That's not my strong side, let's say. But as I said, I'm good with what I've done, and I'm looking forward to improve what wasn't good today.
Sounds very good. Well, congratulations from both of us, and from everybody watching as well on this very nice P2. And hopefully it's going to be one better in 2 weeks' time. So we look forward to seeing you race then in Qatar.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Everyone.
To you.
So that leaves us with one left. This is Francesco Pezzin. That's the P3 finisher in hypercar. So I'm just going to drag him up here. Hello, Francesco. Can you hear us?
Good evening. Yeah, I can.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Well, it's okay. Could have gone better, but I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, you already mentioned it could have done better. How were you feeling already race round? It's the first it's the first round of the silver split. I think it's the first ever participation of you in any kind of VMS championship, if I'm correct. How are you feeling? How was the car? How was your overall general feeling?
Well, before the race, I had some anxiety, to be honest, but it's going much better than I thought. I'm really happy with the result. The car was good. I practiced quite a lot in the past weeks. I'm happy overall. It could have gone better, but I mean, as the first time, it's okay.
Do you feel like something happened on track that you like? Yeah, I can do that better next time to make sure I get one higher. Is there something you left out on track, or is it just getting used to the racing and to the cars as well?
Well, it's both because I made some tiny mistakes all over the race, like I don't know, locking up the tires or similar stuff. And most important, I put a little bit too much of virtual energy. So I think I lost the P2 with that mistake.
So just a lot of tiny lessons learned there to make sure that you're going to finish a bit higher next time. In 2 weeks we're racing in Qatar. Are you feeling confident about that track?
I'm feeling quite confident. I've done some races there before. I think I've driven quite a bit in Qatar as well. Yeah, we'll see. I'm confident with Qatar.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Do you have any more questions for Daniel?
I don't know. No, I do not. I wish you a good evening. Hopefully you enjoy this P3, and hopefully we can see you next week, in 2 weeks' time again, finishing maybe even better. So see you.
I hope so. Thank you. Did you enjoy the race?
What?
I sure did.
Okay. That's
yes.
good.
For us as commentators, it's very nice to have a race this exciting to start the season with. That is for sure.
I'm happy with that. Also, the qualifying was quite close. I mean, we were 4 people in 40 hundreds. So
yeah, it was really close. So yeah, it was. I think for a commentator it was exciting, for a viewer it was exciting, and I think for you as a driver it was exciting as well. So
yeah,
you
it was.
delivered in all aspects.
Well, I'm happy with that. Good evening.
Good evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you next time. Yeah.
All right.
Goodbye.
Good evening. Bye.
That's pretty much it. I think we have no one waiting. Sadly, P1 and P2 is not is for some reasons not going to give us an interview, but this is just fine. We have plenty of voices and opinions heard already.
Yes. Well, I think this was a very nice way to start off the third season of Virtual Motorsport Series in the Silver Split. This was very exciting, if you ask me, and I'm looking forward to the next race and see if we can get something even more exciting.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited for Qatar in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, you all can, of course, check out the Discord and watch when the other and the calendars and when the other races are going to take place. On Sunday we have our gold split. Next week Friday we have the bronze split, and of course next week Sunday we have the platinum split of the VMS, so the pinnacle of Virtual Motorsport Series Motorsport. So I'm really hoping none of you will want to miss out on this, and I hope we will see you there very soon.
Yes, lots more exciting stuff to come. For now, I think this is it for us. I am Sverre Komman, and it's been great having you here with me, Daniel, for this first race of the season. And I look forward to sharing this box with you throughout. And for the viewer back at home, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys in Sunday or in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.